Hello everyone and happy Tuesday. Papa Ken here, and I just wanted to talk shortly about an unfortunate recent event. In case you didn't know, the president and CEO of Nintendo, and I apologize if I mispronounce his name, Satoru Iwata, passed away, I guess it was Sunday sometime. And I mean, if you're on YouTube at all, I'm sure you already know this, even if you're not a gamer or you're not into Nintendo, because a lot of people have been sharing videos about it. And I really just wanted to, I guess, share some of my thoughts on it. More specifically, some of Mr. Satoru Iwata's words and what they mean to me. Now, if you want a good idea of the kind of person that Mr. Iwata was, you can go, I mean, you can really look at any video he was in. It's like, I don't know a lot about the man, other than apparently he was just a wonderful person. He cared about the people that worked under him, and came, he came about the business not so much as an executive, but as a gamer. He claimed to come at it from a gamer's mindset, and he was a programmer for a lot of games that, even if you haven't played them, you've definitely heard of them. I believe the game that he programmed on his own was Balloon Fight, and again, if you have never played that before, I'm sure most of you have heard of it. It's a very famous game, very simple in execution, but very well known. And yeah, well, I'm sorry, I'm a little bit disorganized here. Some of basically this morning I was watching Jim Sterling's sort of an impromptu Jimquisition. He had another one planned that's going to be coming out, I guess, on the same day this video goes up. But he did one specifically for in remembrance of Mr. Iwata, or Mr. Iwata, and I'll link to his video down below, because he put into word, he said it in a way that I never could, because I love video games, I've always loved Nintendo, but I'm not, inside the industry. I don't have that sort of insight that someone like Jim or a lot of other more famous gamer YouTubers might have. But I'm going to link to Jim's video down in the description below and here in the video if you have annotations on, so you can go watch his video. I definitely recommend it. I think it was really well done from a very honest person's perspective. One thing he mentioned in that video is a quote that has caused some debate in the video game world. And the quote from Mr. Iwata is this: "Video games are meant to be just one thing. Fun. Fun for everyone." And I've actually changed that to my profile picture on Facebook. It's just a very simple black image with those words on there, and then Mr. Iwata's name there at the bottom, showing that it was him. But when I shared that, one thing that one of my friends pointed out was, games can be a lot more than that. And even Jim Sterling in his video said that that's something that he's going to discuss at a future date, because it is, like I said, a debate that has made the rounds in the video game world, especially as far as us that are fans of video games go. When I read that quote, the way I take it, I want to say that there's two ways you could take it, but it goes really beyond that. But one way you could take it is just literally, absolutely literally, and that's video games are meant to be just one thing, fun for everyone. And that's one perspective of looking at it. Like, that's a very purist way of looking at it, especially if you're thinking about some of the older games, like the classic games, Donkey Kong, Pac-Man. All of that was like, it was just meant for fun. It was meant to rack up points, and for the people that created it to make some money. Whereas games of today have evolved so much. We have games that evoke sadness, evoke fear, evoke anger. It's like, they go into all these different emotions, and fun just doesn't seem to really encapsulate that. But again, when I see this quote, I interpret his meaning of fun as being enjoyment. Think of it that way. Video games are meant to be just one thing, or enjoyable for everyone. And that isn't to say that all games should be enjoyed by everyone, not necessarily. But video games, especially in today's world, there are so many different kinds of so many different genres that all those video games are meant for someone to enjoy or for someone to find fun. If you prefer horror games are what you enjoy. Horror games are what you find fun. If you enjoy sports games, they're not my bag, but if sports games are your thing, those video games are for you to play and have fun. They are for you to enjoy. If you're more like me and you prefer RPGs, they are for you to have fun with. They are for you to enjoy. So I think it's too close-minded to take that quote at complete literal face value. I'm not a linguist, but but considering Mr. Iwata's Japanese, there's a chance that that quote could have been a little bit lost in translation. It might not have been specifically fun he was saying. It may have been in like games should be enjoyed, something along those lines. I just, especially when it comes to changing over or going over the language barrier, there's always going to be a little bit lost in translation. And I think that for us, well, at least for those of you that might be watching this that are English speakers, English readers, I don't know, again, I find it close-minded to take that quote as given to us in English at face value, to take it completely literally. I think it should be interpreted in a way that says, again, it's like, and I might even paraphrase what I said a little bit more, but video games are meant to be enjoyed by everyone. That's in my mind what I think Mr. Satoru Iwata was saying. That video games are meant to be enjoyed. Now, not everyone enjoys video games. So, like, even my, paraphrase, my interpretation of what he's saying isn't accurate. But that's just it, it's an interpretation from a man that had worked in video games, had created games that he found to be fun. He encapsulated that statement. He made games, he worked on games, he wanted games to come out that were fun, that anyone or everyone could possibly enjoy. But the statement itself is so much more far-reaching than its literal English translation, in my opinion. I'm really interested to see what you all might think about that, and if Jim Sterling does ever post a video regarding, that discussion, I'll definitely link to that as well. I might even, I don't know, do a commentary on the discussion, because I find that really interesting, especially considering how far video games have come as a media and, in my opinion, as an art form. So yeah, I apologize for this video being a little bit overly long, but, rambling and all that. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what your all's thoughts on that are. For these words from Mr. Iwata, again, video games are meant to be just one thing, fun for everyone. And let me know if there are any other quotes from him that you enjoyed or might want to discuss. And let me know if there have been any articles that pop up about him, since his passing that you found really interesting or that you didn't know. Like in my case, I knew I had heard that he was a great guy, but I had no idea that several years ago, when Nintendo wasn't making their estimates, I believe it was because of the initial sales of the 3DS and possibly part of the Wii U as well. But when they weren't making their estimates, rather than firing people, rather than having massive layoffs, as the president of Nintendo, he cut his own salary in half. He cut it in half so that they didn't have to have all those layoffs, so that they didn't have to fire all these people. And in my mind, that's just, I would like to think that if I was a CEO or a president, that's the kind of thing I would do. I highly respect someone that, they may have other motivations behind doing that, but whatever the motivations are, it's a good thing. It saved a lot of people's livelihoods, and I highly respect him for that. So yeah, that was just one thing that I didn't know about him that I learned just in the last few days that I just found really interesting and amazing. And honestly does make me wish I would have had a chance to meet the man in person. But, you know, at least I'll be able to learn more about him, and there would be many people to carry on his memory. And hopefully whoever takes over in his place at Nintendo will continue his legacy of being a good person, a good person that has done things for the employees, and hopefully even move Nintendo in better directions than they already were. I mean, I'm not going to say Nintendo is flawless. I'm a fanboy, but they're not, you know, they're not flawless. They definitely have issues that I can comment on, but that's not what this video is about. This was just about me talking about some thoughts on Mr. Iwata and that quote in particular, over going on 12 minutes now. But if you're still watching, just so you know, two video games in particular, well, the two series, Kirby, and then one video game in particular, Earthbound. He was I believe, either an executive producer or producer for both of these games. And I considered going ahead and trying to do Earthbound for an upcoming Let's Play, but I don't feel like I'm experienced enough commentary-wise when it comes to playing video games to really tackle an RPG yet, so I'm going to hold off on that for now. So instead, I'm going to do a Let's Play, or playthrough, whatever you want to refer to it as, for Kirby Superstar, which is, as it says, 8 games in one. Not all of which are full games, obviously, but you know, we get some cool interpretations of Kirby's Dreamland, or whatever it is. I'm forgetting the names, but yeah. So if you're into the video game Let's Plays at all, I'll have that coming up soon once I finish up recording my Portal Let's Play and then getting that uploaded. But this video has gone on long enough. Once again, everyone, please do let me, you know, leave below some of your thoughts about Mr. Iwata, anything you might have learned about him in these last few days or over the last few years, if you're one of the people that keeps up with that kind of thing. But whatever, whatever you have to say, just please keep it civil, say nice things, and Mr. Iwata, if you're out there, you you were the CEO, or I'm sorry, you were the president of a company that I grew up with for the last 13 years. You know, you were the president, and then you were the CEO for the last 3 years. And it was a company I grew up with that made a lot of games that helped define my childhood. And I thank you, your predecessors, and just everyone like-minded like you that tried to make Nintendo a great company and tried to bring smiles to people's faces. Whatever the reasons may be, you brought smiles to people's faces. And I can't respect that enough. Good night, everyone.